Asia remains one of the most closed parts of the world right now for travelers. And while countries like Singapore have said they are going to stop counting COVID cases and they're going to move towards opening up, reopening in Asia has been slow. And while really there are no countries in Asia that are totally open for business, today I'm going to share 4 that are more open than the rest. Hi, I'm Andrew Henderson. I'm the author of this best-selling book, available on Amazon, and the founder of Nomad Capitalist, where our global team of more than 50 people, our network of experts, helps 7- and 8-figure entrepreneurs and investors legally go where you're treated best. So let's talk about Asia. Let's talk about where can you go in Asia. And the answer really is not a lot of places. Asia, when I was there, was in a process of becoming more and more flexible. After I left later in the year in 2020, things took a turn for the worst, and a lot of countries have suspended so-called travel bubbles. A lot of countries have gone back to lockdowns. And so Asia is not a place where you can go right now, which is a shame because a lot of the great places to live, great places to spend time, consumer cultures, places with beautiful people, great sites, reasonable tax policies, the kind of places that we talk about for nomad capitalists are in Asia, in particular in Southeast Asia. And it's a shame that everything is happening and that people can't go there and help these countries' economies. But today I want to talk about 4 countries in Asia that are more open. Let's start in more Western Asia and talk about the UAE. I was in Dubai for a couple of weeks recently, and while there certainly are relatively strict protocols in place, the place is open. Restaurants are open, business is being conducted as usual. It seems like Dubai is perhaps a bit more open to tourism. That has been the theme throughout most of the last year. But there are rumors about things going to be opened up further and regulations being loosened. So Dubai in particular has been relatively open. Perhaps not the best time to go in the middle of the summer right now, and that will continue for a little while longer. But Dubai has been a place, and the UAE has been a place that has remained open. You're going to need a COVID test. If you don't fly on the right airline, i.e. one of their overrated airlines, you're going to have to perhaps get another one on arrival. But in typical UAE fashion, it is done pretty quickly, done pretty efficiently. As long as you follow the signs and you go to the right place, you will be in and out. So the UAE does remain among the Asian countries one of the more open. Compared that to other places in the region, from Saudi Arabia to Qatar, it is definitely a standout. Now let's look at a place that we've talked about occasionally that is getting more attention, and that is Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka does require a COVID test for entry. They also require a quarantine. And so if you test negative on your arrival, you get to check into any number of what are called level 1 hotels. You get to use hotel facilities, and you get to visit approved tourist sites in a bio bubble. So this is by no means just come on in and do whatever the heck you want. This is somewhat akin to what Thailand has done at certain times. It's hard to keep up with all these countries and what they did yesterday and today, the day before that. But Thailand had a situation, hey, come to our hotels. I think it was on Phuket. And just enjoy the hotel, and then after the 2 weeks you can go out and enjoy. Sri Lanka is somewhat following that lead and saying you can spend this time in a kind of bubble, see the world from that bubble, and so Sri Lanka is a place that I think is getting a lot more attention, might be worth checking out if you really want to go to somewhere in Asia. South Korea, negative COVID test, quarantine at a government facility. South Korea is interesting in that they do have a little talked about temporary and permanent residence program for investors. It is a place that might not be that bad to have as a flag if you want a more developed Asian country as part of your portfolio. And so right now, if you can pass a negative test and you're willing to put in some time at one of these government facilities, one of these government-approved facilities, then you can go to South Korea. What's interesting about South Korea is we were talking at Nomad Capitalist Live about throughout the last year, not every country who's had visa-free access to South Korea has actually been able to get in due to some of their rules. And so the idea was having multiple passports, even multiple Caribbean passports, all of which technically get access to South Korea through the visa-free regime. It might be worth having multiple passports if your goal in times of chaos is access to different countries. The 4th country among the more open in Asia right now is Thailand. Now, what they're really prioritizing is vaccinated travelers from a number of countries, primarily Western countries. If you're not vaccinated, you're going to do a quarantine. And what's interesting is you can say, okay, I'm going to go to Bangkok, or I'm going to go here, or I'm going to go there. And what you do is you can kind of choose from a menu. There's an arrangement of a list of hotels, and you can choose, I'm going to stay at the Shangri-La, or I'm going to stay at this one, I'm going to stay at that one. And each of the hotels has a certain hospital partner they work with, and it's kind of like, all right, well, this one ranges from 50,000 baht to 100,000 Thai baht. And by the way, the baht has been weakening a little bit recently, so you're getting a little bit more value for your dollar or for your euro with the baht these days. But you can go and you can spend your time, and I believe, leave in the comments if you're in Thailand and you have the current situation, but you can pass a test and you can get out a bit early. So Thailand is a place where you have the Thai Elite Visa, you have the Thai Investor Visa where you can invest in new property or put money in the bank or put money in bonds. You can get a renewable residence permit, essentially. And so there are a lot of lifestyle opportunities, a lot of immigration opportunities, and relatively good tax policies for people who are running businesses, people who are investing in crypto. Thailand is an interesting place to be, and probably a place that a lot of people wouldn't mind living if they're looking to live the nomad capitalist lifestyle. And so this may be an opportunity if you're willing to, spend some time in one of these hotels to go and check it out. So Asia, by no means the most open part of the world right now. We've talked about Central America. We've talked about Eastern Europe. Countries like Turkey being much more open. If you're looking to go to Asia, these are some of the countries that stand out as being more open than the rest. If you've been to them, if you're in one of them right now, I want to hear what you think. What's life like on the ground? Leave a comment below. So people ask, Andrew, how do I get the most out of Nomad Capitalist? How do I begin my Nomad Capitalist journey? The first thing people do is they start right where you're at. They watch YouTube, they listen to podcasts, they read articles at nomadcapitalist.com. We've spent years creating thousands of pieces of free content so that you can get the vibe from someone who's actually done this, from someone who's actually been in your shoes. What they'll do next, they'll get a copy of the book. You can find it on Amazon. It costs a few bucks, and while it's not going to give you all the secrets, it's going to, again, give you more of the vibe. You're going to learn a lot of the things that I've learned. You're going to learn some strategies you can employ, and you're going to get a lot further in your journey. From there, if you are the 7 or 8 figure entrepreneur investor, you can go to nomadcapitalist.com. You can click Become a Client. We're pretty busy these days, but we have availability to help a limited number of people who want to create a holistic plan, something that I think is so important. So if you want to do that, go to nomadcapitalist.com, click Become a Client, learn more about how it works and how we can help you.